We're live from New Delhi. You're watching India Newshour, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Coming up in the next hour. South Korean impeached President Yoon arrested, taken to investigators' office for questioning over last month's failed martial law bid. Gaza ceasefire appears close as US-Egyptian leaders put focus on the coming hours. US to remove Cuba from state sponsors to terrorism list, while Cuba to release 553 prisoners. As TikTok ban in US looms, millions of users flock to Chinese app Red Note. Lawmakers urge Biden to extend ban deadline. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi to dedicate 3 frontline naval combatants to the nation during his visit to Maharashtra will also inaugurate Iscon Temple. And in sports, Indian women's team aim for a clean sweep against Ireland as they face each other in the third and final ODI of the 3-match series. And big news coming in from South Korea. Impeached South Korean President Yoon was arrested on Wednesday over his failed martial law bid. Yoon's presidential motorcade left the hillside residence while he has been holed up for weeks behind barbed wire barriers and a small army of personal security, and later arrived at the offices of the anti-corruption agency heading the probe. Earlier, hundreds of police officers and investigators from the Corruption Investigation Office had streamed up the driveway to the presidential residence before dawn, some scaling perimeter walls and hiking up back trails to reach the main building. It was their second effort to arrest Yoon. Yoon is the first sitting president in the nation's history to be arrested. Following his arrest, Yoon can be held for up to 48 hours on the existing warrant. Investigators would need to apply for another arrest warrant to keep him in custody. Well, separately, the Constitutional Court is deliberating over to uphold that impeachment and permanently remove him from office. Next hearing will be held on the 16th of January. Meanwhile, impeached South Korean president in a pre-recorded video message said that he had described to submit to questioning over his failed martial law bid to avert bloodshed, even though he believed the probe was illegal. Well, as he told you, big news coming in. Impeached South Korean President Yoon was arrested on Wednesday morning over his failed martial law bid. And for more, we have Akshay Dongre joining us on this. Well, Akshay, after resisting for long in a high-voltage drama, South Korean investigators and police entered the residence of Yoon seeking his arrest finally and succeeding in that. What next is the big question now?
Well, as you were mentioning that the investigative authorities and in fact even the opposition is calling for a permanent impeachment of President Yoon. over these corruption charges. This is apparently what is next that we are looking at. Next major shift as far as South Korea's politics is concerned, because we have seen that it has been over a month that this high voltage drama coming straight out of what it appears coming straight out of Hollywood movie has been unfolding. First, there was a bid by the president to implement a martial law in the country, which was not successful. He, in fact, called on all of his guards and supporters, as far as the investigation are concerned, to protect him in terms of these false allegations are concerned, and that perhaps is the reason why we have seen that so many slugfests have taken place over the past month, be it the investigative authorities, not being allowed to enter the presidential palace, or the fortification of the presidential palace that has been taking place, according to the opposition, of what they call that the presidential palace is being turned into a fortress with barbed wires being placed all around the place, or the presidential security guards not allowing the corruption anti-corruption officers to go inside and investigate the president over these charges. So we have been seeing these tussles taking place in different agencies in the South Korean capital, and this is in fact unprecedented in the history of the country, the kind of tussle that we are seeing between different agencies, between the president and the parliament, and in fact we have also seen that when the voting was taking place in the parliament over the martial law that was implemented, we have seen that how there were attempts to even arrest the parliamentarians. So all of this has been taking place, which has put a deep ridge between the president and the parliament of the country. And in the next few days, we can see now that how the investigation will take place. President Yoon has already called all of the allegations as baseless, and he has called that these kind of allegations have been taken place because he has been working for the country. But it remains to be seen that how the parliament is going to move further when it comes to the investigation is concerned, and how is Mr. Yoon and his defense going to in fact go ahead with these allegations as far as the country's fragile situation right now is concerned. Back to you, Lipakshi.
Absolutely fragile situation there. Also, Akshay, this situation is a crucial movement for maintaining order and the rule of law in South Korea. Yoon's impeachment trial next hearing will be held on the 16th of January. What can be expected out there?
Well, as I said, Lipakshi, the defense of President Yoon is going to go ahead with the straight focus that all of these allegations are false. In fact, all of the allegations are taking place, as a vengeance against him, and these are motivated and fabricated lies, as the party is stating, is going to be the defense of. Is in all probability going to be the defense of President Yoon once the hearing begins. And now that the investigation it's taking place, we can expect more proofs or being put forth by both the sides, with the anti-corruption organizations there that are investigating Mr. Yoon right now, to bring all the proof that they have as far as and also bring out the excerpts from the questioning that is going to take place of President Yoon, and with President Yoon going to take forward his own allegations of foreign conspiracies or motivated charges against him as far as the case is concerned. But it is all going to be unveiled once the hearing begins, as you mentioned, on 16th of January. There are other hearings also scheduled on 21st of January, 23rd of January, 26th of January. So there are all of these stacked up hearings that are going to take place in South Korea.
All right. Thank you so much, Akshay, for all those details. And now updates on Israel-Hamas conflict. Negotiators were near to hammering out the final details of a ceasefire in Gaza on Wednesday after marathon talks in Qatar. Qatar, Egypt and the United States have intensified efforts to broker a ceasefire to enable the release of hostages taken during Hamas's October 7, 2023 attack on Israel. More than 8 hours of talks in Doha had fueled optimism. Officials from mediators Qatar, Egypt and the US, as well as Israel and Hamas, said an agreement for a truce in the besieged enclave and release of hostages was closer than ever.
We are at a developed stage. We do believe that we are at the final stages, but obviously until there is an announcement, there will be no announcement, and therefore we shouldn't be overexcited about what's happening right now, but certainly we are hopeful that this would lead very soon to an agreement. So the main reason why we are more optimistic right now is, as I said, during the past months there were underlying issues, major issues between the two parties unresolved. These issues were resolved during the talks in the past couple of weeks, and therefore we have reached a point where the major issues that were preventing a deal from happening were addressed, and we have language pertaining to these issues that has been distributed between both parties.
And Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar, meanwhile, said during a visit to Rome that there was a true willingness from our side to reach an agreement.
I believe that if we will achieve this hostage deal, we will have a majority in the government that will support the agreement. So this is the simple answer. I know there is a true willingness from our side to reach an agreement.
Meanwhile, U.S. President Joe Biden and Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi discussed negotiations for a ceasefire and hostage release deal in Gaza on Tuesday. White House in a statement said both leaders committed to remain in close coordination directly and through their teams over the coming hours. The leaders emphasized the urgent need for a deal to be implemented. The two leaders also discussed a surging humanitarian aid in Gaza. Well, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, meanwhile, said that it is up to Hamas to seal a Gaza ceasefire, saying a final proposal is on the table at talks in Qatar.
Over the past several weeks, our intensive efforts have brought us to the brink of full and final agreement. On Sunday, the United States, Qatar, and Egypt put forward a final proposal. The ball is now in Hamas's court. If Hamas accepts, the deal is ready to be concluded and implemented.
And still to come in DD India Newshour. Mexico takes steps to meet Trump's expectations on migration and drugs. Tulip Siddiq resigns as UK Treasury Minister. And in a unique way, cats in Los Angeles help people cope up with stress and anxiety caused by the wildfires. How? We tell you ahead.
This week on Defense Dynamics, unravel the secrets behind India's revolutionary Cats Warrior prototype. What are these cats and how will they redefine the warfare? Why is making fighter jet engines still a monumental challenge? We analyze the hurdles. Can Donald Trump bring an end to Ukraine war after January 20th? A geopolitical analysis you can't miss. Updates on India-Maldives defense ties and the evolving dynamics of Afghan-India relations. This Wednesday at 8 p.m. IST only on DD India.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching India Newshour. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and moving on, the Biden administration has notified Congress that it will remove Cuba from its list of state sponsors of terrorism as part of a prisoner release deal. The move will likely be overturned after the return to office next week of President-elect Donald Trump. He reinstated Cuba's terror designation in the final days of his first presidency in 2021, banning U.S. economic aid and arms exports to the country. Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo designated Cuba as a state sponsor of terrorism in January 2021, just days before leaving office, saying at the time that Havana was providing support for acts of international terrorism. Well, Cuba, on the other hand, said on Tuesday it would release 553 prisoners imprisoned for diverse crimes in response to the announcement. Cuba welcomed the move as a step in the right direction, but lamented it was still under U.S. sanctions in place since 1962. The Catholic Church has been negotiating with the communist-run government over the release of the prisoners. Most of them were jailed following unprecedented island-wide protest in July 2021. Cuba blames the U.S. blockade for its worst economic crisis in decades, marked by shortages of fuel, food, medicines and electricity. Cuba has been one of just 4 nations designated as state sponsors of terrorism, along with North Korea, Iran and Syria. And as Donald Trump's inauguration coming closer, Mexico is trying to come up to the U.S. president-elect's expectations. There are signals from Mexican side that it may be willing to accept non-Mexicans deported from the United States. Mexican efforts are taking place in response to Trump's threats to curb on migration and flow of drugs to USA. Though putting her own point of view in public, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum has intensified crackdown against migrants traveling towards the U.S. border by detaining an unprecedented 475,000 migrants between October and December. This has left open the possibility that Mexico might be willing to accept non-Mexicans deported from the United States. Her government has also seized a record 1,100 kilograms of illicit fentanyl and unveiled new tariffs against some Asian goods and confiscated counterfeit Chinese products in several Mexican cities. This might please Donald Trump, as he had reportedly accused the Mexican government of not doing enough to stop migrants and drugs from entering the U.S. and has threatened a sweeping 25% tariffs on Mexican goods coming into U.S. and has spoken against a Chinese plant setting up shop in Mexico. Well, the British Minister Tulip Siddiq, responsible for financial services and fighting corruption, resigned on Tuesday after weeks of questions over her financial ties to her aunt Sheikh Hasina, ousted last year as Prime Minister of Bangladesh. Well, Tulip Siddiq had repeatedly denied any wrongdoing, and Prime Minister Keir Starmer said last week he had full confidence in her. The resignation of a second government minister in 2 months is a blow to Starmer. Siddiq's departure follows the resignation of British Transport Minister Louis Haigh late last year. Siddiq was handed the portfolio for financial services policy after the election. Starmer swiftly appointed Emma Reynolds, who was the pension minister, to Siddiq's role. Siddiq was named in December as part of Bangladesh's investigation into whether her family were involved in siphoning off funds from Bangladeshi infrastructure projects. And Russian forces are intensifying their slow but relentless advance in eastern Ukraine, claiming control of 2 key settlements in Donetsk. Russia's defense ministry announced the capture of Terny near the contested town of Seversk and Newkachny to the south, both pivotal in Moscow's campaign for the region. However, Ukraine's general staff reported fierce resistance, with Terny and Neskachny among several locations under heavy attack during 17 armed clashes. 5 of those battles were ongoing late into the evening, and Ukrainian troops reportedly repelled advances in several areas. And NATO countries will deploy frigates, patrol aircraft and naval drones in the Baltic Sea to help protect critical infrastructure and reserve the right to take action against ships suspected of posing a security threat, alliance members said on Tuesday. The military and political alliance is taking the action dubbed Baltic Sentry, following a string of incidents in which power cables telecom links and gas pipelines have been damaged in the wake of Russia-Ukraine conflict. Finnish authorities seized the vessel, setting a precedent for action against rogue ships. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte warned that any threats will face severe consequences, including arrest. Latvia acknowledged the challenge of monitoring 2,000 daily ships. Finland's president stressed legal reviews to balance action with maritime laws. And US TikTok users are flocking to the Chinese social media app Xiaozhongzhou, making it the top downloaded app in the US as the threat of a TikTok ban looms. The US Supreme Court is due to rule on a law that stipulates TikTok must be divested from its Chinese parent company ByteDance by January 19th or face a ban in the US over national security concerns. Known as Xiaozhongzhou in China, Red Note is a social media platform that includes images, short-form videos, community building tools, shopping and more. It is not a one-on-one TikTok clone, and it is owned by Shanghai-based Xinjiang Information Technology. Meanwhile, two Democratic lawmakers on Monday urged Congress and President Joe Biden to extend the deadline for ByteDance to sell the U.S. assets of TikTok. The Supreme Court held arguments on Friday on TikTok and ByteDance's challenge to the law. A lawyer for the company said it would be impossible to complete a sale by next week's deadline. And Bolivia's former president, Eva Morales, did not attend a hearing on Tuesday in a case of aggravated trafficking of persons lodged against him, citing medical reasons. The judge presiding over the hearing confirmed that Morales' defense had presented a medical report alleging he was suffering from several conditions. The hearing has been postponed and rescheduled for January 17th, with the defense given a 48-hour window to present medical evidence to substantiate Morales' illness. Prosecutor warned that if Morales fails to attend his hearing on Friday, he'll be declared absent and an arrest warrant will be issued. Well, the city of La Paz became the stage for protest after police arrested supporters of Morales, and dozens of street vendors marched through its streets to demand economic measures from the government. At the vice presidential building, police detained about 50 people. Street vendors demanded a solution to the economic crisis and showing their rejection of merchandise confiscation measures. Well, Brazilian authorities have expressed serious concern over a recent announcement by the social media giant Meta that they will ease their policies restricting incendiary speech and fact-checking. Brazil had given Meta a 72-hour deadline to explain its policy for the country after the shock announcement last week by company chief executive Mark Zuckerberg that he was ditching independent fact-checking in the United States. The social media giant assured Brazil the policy would not extend to other countries until Meta had fully tested a new community note system, which will replace third-party fact-checkers. The system allows ordinary users to leave notes on potentially misleading posts in a model similar to that popularized by X. And Indonesia plans to issue a regulation to set a minimum age for users of social media, a move aimed at protecting children in digital space. Internet penetration in Indonesia, a country of about 280 million people, reached 79.5% last year. The survey showed 48% of children under 12 had access to the internet, with some respondents of that age group using Facebook, Instagram and TikTok. The plans follows Australia's decision to ban children under 16 from accessing social media, preventing children accessing their platforms. Well, a huge federal probe was underway into what caused the deadly Los Angeles wildfires, with millions in the city clamoring for answers. Several theories have surfaced about what started blazes, including downed power lines, deliberate arson, a stray firework, and the reignition of an earlier fire. Meanwhile, powerful winds forecast for late Tuesday night threatened to trigger massive fires that are still burning around Los Angeles. National Weather Service has warned people to stay aware of their surroundings and be ready to evacuate. A large number of Southern California was under a red flag warning till Wednesday, indicating that intense dryness and furious winds gusting up to 70 miles an hour would make conditions ripe for wildfire. The deadly wildfire that has claimed the lives of 24 people has put more than 88,000 people under evacuation order. As 12,000 structures have been damaged, search teams are using cadaver dogs to scour the rubble for days in the hunt for dozens of people still unaccounted for.
It's devastating. For Kamala and for so many of you, it's home. She and I and our entire administration have been working closely with Governor Newsom, Senator Padilla, Senator Schiff, the entire congressional delegation, to make sure California has every possible resource to fight these fires and help the survivors.
Well, a cat cafe in Los Angeles is offering free 15-minute cat cuddling sessions to help people affected by the city's ongoing wildfires relief from the stress and anxiety caused by the disaster. The cafe is rescuing cats and kittens from high-kill shelters, providing them with a safe and loving space where they can be socialized and cared until they find their forever homes. The cafe serves as a sanctuary where patrons can visit, play and cuddle with the felines to help them become more friendly and adoptable. And now let's take a look at other stories making news around the world. Spanish police apprehended a gang suspected of smuggling more than 40,000 tons a year of untreated urban waste from Italy to Spain. Police said Italian waste treatment companies had paid smugglers over $19.5 million since 2021 to dispose of the waste, including hazardous and toxic materials. 15 people and 7 companies are under investigation. At the annual Voodoo Festival in Oidah, Benin Republic, women performed wild dances and backflips, entering a trance-like state. The event featured elaborate masks and costumes, highlighting the rich cultural heritage of Benin's Bodin community and is renowned globally for its mystic and rituals. The festival draws tourists and worshippers, offering a large program of ceremonies, concerts and exhibitions. Starbucks has reversed its policy allowing anyone to use its bathrooms, now requiring customers to make a purchase or leave. Starbucks' new code of conduct states that its cafes, patios and restrooms are now prioritized for paying customers, a policy similar to that of most retailers. The company aims to ensure its spaces are used primarily by customers. Guitars belonging to late musician Jeff Beck go on display this week before being auctioned off. Some 130 guitars, amps and other equipment which Beck played or used until his last tour will be on display. The price ranges from £100 for a flying V-shaped ukulele to £350,000 to £500,000 for the Oxblood Les Paul featured on Blow by Blow. The guitars were previously on show in Los Angeles in December. And still to come, indeed, India Newshour. Fervour of Mahakumbh 2025 continues. Devotees taking holy dip in Sangam in Prayag Raj. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Shankar's Spain visit will boost ties. And pauses providing access to the full dress rehearsal of the Republic Day Parade 2025 up for grabs through the Amantran portal and mobile app.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy, always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching India Newshour. I'm Lepakshi Khurana, and moving on, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be on a one-day visit to Maharashtra on the 15th of January. Prime Minister's first engagement will be dedication of 3 frontline naval combatants, INS Surat, INS Nilgiri and INS Vakshi, to the nation on their commissioning at the Naval Dockyard in Mumbai.
वो लोग मना करते हैं, हम उसको प्यार व्यार भी नहीं कर सकते.
At their commissioning ceremony on Wednesday in Mumbai Naval Dockyard, INS Surat is the 4th and the last ship of the Project 15B guided missile destroyer project, having an indigenous content of 75% and is equipped with state-of-the-art weapon sensor packages and advanced network-centric capabilities. It is also the first AI-enabled Indian naval ship. The ship ranks among the largest and most sophisticated destroyers in the world. INS Nilgiri is the first ship of the Project 17A stealth frigate project and has been designed by the Indian Navy's Warship Design Bureau. Equipped with advanced features for enhanced survivability, seakeeping and stealth, it reflects the next generation of indigenous frigates. INS Vakshi is the 6th and final submarine of the Project 75 Scorpion project. It is a diesel-electric attack submarine based on the Scorpion class and has the ability to launch a crippling attack on the enemy using precision-guided weapons with both 18 torpedoes and tube-launched anti-ship missiles at the same time, underwater or surfaced. It represents India's growing expertise in submarine construction. The commissioning of 3 major naval combatants marks a significant leap forward in realizing India's vision of becoming a global leader in defense manufacturing and maritime security.
The commissioning of INS Nilgiri, INS Surat and INS Vakshi showcases the significant strides India has made in naval shipbuilding. Their development underscores the commitment of India's self-reliance towards defense manufacturing. Shama Mishra, DD India, Mumbai.
And for more on this, we have Shama Mishra joining us from Mumbai. Well, Shama, Prime Minister to dedicate 3 frontline naval combatants to India. Tell us, how will these contribute to India's new era of maritime muscle, and what all is lined up for today?
Well, Lepakshi, we are here at the Naval Dockyard and all 3 potent platforms are here lined up and they will be commissioned soon once Prime Minister arrives at this location. So this, the particular visuals that you're seeing right now is INS Nilgiri. You've already mentioned that Nilgiri is first of its class, now 17A, and this will be the first ship and followed by more frigate class ships. So this is also equipped with the state-of-the-art weaponry, gunnery, and we can understand that this has the BrahMos missile deck, this has the Barak 8 missile deck, also it has surface to air, it can also accommodate helicopters, so the landing deck is also there. We'll also show you visuals of the helo deck. This particular area is called helo deck, and just besides this Nilgiri, INS Nilgiri, there is INS Vakshi, and INS Vakshi is also the last of its class, and INS Vakshi, it had its predecessors Vela, and this is particularly Scorpion class. So we have their technology from the French collaboration, and this is also built in Mazagon Dock Limited. So this is indigenously built. Now this is the 6th of this is the last, and that is why this is the 6th of the 6 submarines of the Kalvari class. It is also known as Kalvari because Kalvari was the first. Kalvari was the first submarine that was launched. This I've already mentioned that it is based on the French Scorpion design. Transfer of technology, it is based on that. The project is involved in that. Now this new Vakshi, there was an erstwhile Vakshi, now this is the new Vakshi. It is more stealthier, it has advanced stealth features and has potent with state-of-art weaponry and sensor suite. comprising of sonar, radar, electronic surveillance, sensor, and satellite communication. So you can understand once it goes underwater, identifying it on a radar, it's very difficult, and it also has the enhanced capabilities of understanding where other ships or submarines are there. Besides that is INS Surat. INS Surat is also last of its class. We did see this, it's last of its class, and it's also last of the particular project class of warship. So we can understand this also has a big capability, and it is also having a big percentage of indigenously built component. Both INS Surat and INS Nilgiri, they have around a component of more than 70%. Nilgiri has around 75% of indigenously built component. So we can understand in the way of Atmanirbharta or self-reliance, we are moving really in the right direction, and we are moving ahead. INS Surat also happens to be the first AI-enabled warship. It is the destroyer, so we can understand the displacement is huge. It is around more than 7,000 tons. The displacement at in meters also, it is around 170 meters. So we can understand it's a huge ship, it's a huge warship, it's AI enabled. It also gives an opportunity to women sailors, because it gives opportunities in a way that has accommodation for women sailors. It has accommodation for Agniveer as well. So women Agniveers and women sailors also now can be joining the Indian Navy and be on board and be on the operation. So overall, with the induction of all these three, India not just becomes mighty, but also becomes self-reliant, and that is the dream of our Prime Minister. He every time emphasizes on the fact that India should move in the direction of Atmanirbharta, of self-reliance, and we are in the right direction. And it's not just the shipbuilders navy, but we are also exporting our technology also. We are also building the ships, warships, and giving it to our neighboring countries, including Sri Lanka and other nearby countries. So we can understand, few decades ago, when India used to import the technology or even import the ships from outside, today India stands at a place where it exports and it builds its own navy, it builds its own ships and submarines. So it's a huge change, and definitely makes us all proud, makes all the citizens of India proud, with the fact that Indian Navy not just has these mighty ships, but also has the capability to have 3 commissioning in one day.
All right, their commissioning definitely marks a key milestone for India. Thank you so much, Shama, for all those details. And during his visit to Mumbai, Prime Minister Modi will also inaugurate Asia's second largest Iscon Temple being built in Kharghar, Navi Mumbai. Shishir gets us this report.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate Asia's second largest Iscon Temple on Wednesday. This temple is built in Kharghar, Navi Mumbai. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness, an organization that propagates the Bhagavad Gita, has built this temple. This temple is spread over 9 acres. The temple has been constructed entirely of white and brown marble stones. In the hall of this temple, pictures of Lord Krishna have been used using 3D techniques. This temple dedicated to Lord Krishna has been named Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan. The temple also features amenities including a guest house, a restaurant, a yoga and Ayurveda center, a gym and a library. A major attraction within the temple premises is a 1,008-seater cultural center and auditorium designed to host performances, spiritual discourses and Vedic teachings.
Within this premise, we have one center that consists of, the big temple over here of Radha Sri Radha Madan Mohanji, Sri Darbar of Sri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman, Sri Gaurnitai, and then we have the Dasavatar temple. And apart from that, we have a building where we have a Vedic college, the free of cost education we are providing, and then we are providing a Brahmachari ashram, then Brahmacharini ashram, then we have a Sannyas ashram, and the wonderful Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya's memorial over here.
While talking about the recent attack on Iscon Temple in Bangladesh, Kharghar Iscon Temple trustee and President Dr. Surdas Prabhu said that he condemns the cowardly attack on the Iscon Temple in Bangladesh. He also supported the policies of Indian government regarding Bangladesh.
The purpose of this center is also to make people happy by giving them the diversified Vedic culture like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and other scriptures like Upanishad, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and other things are also taught. We like to pray to the Supreme Lord, let the Bangladeshis become, wonderful devotees. In fact, I just want to tell you very clearly, Bangladesh recently was on the top, export-oriented country. But now everything has declined. Why it is declining? Because they have not understood the mercy of brotherhood.
Devotees are happy with this Iscon temple built in Navi Mumbai. Many residents of Navi Mumbai expressed their desire for an Iscon temple and a cultural space in their city. Shishir Shelar's report for DD India.
Well, in a significant diplomatic engagement, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met King Philip VI of Spain in Madrid on Tuesday. The meeting marked a reaffirmation of the strong ties between the two nations as Jaishankar conveyed the greetings and well wishes of President Draupadi Murmu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi to the Spanish monarch. During his visit to Spain, EAM Jaishankar held a pivotal meeting with Spanish President Pedro Sanchez in Madrid, marking a significant step forward in the long-standing relationship between India and Spain. Well, in his first visit to Spain as External Affairs Minister, Dr. Jaishankar had a productive meeting with Spanish Defense Minister Margarita Robles in Madrid. Both the leaders discussed strengthening bilateral cooperation in the defense sector as also regional and global issues. And now let's give you all the news from the Mahakumbh, the largest gathering of humans on the planet. Well, as the people from across the globe continuing taking holy dip in Sangam on January 14th, millions of devotees gathered at the Triveni Sangam in Prayag Raj for the first Amrit Snan of the Mahakumbh Mela 2025, coinciding with Makar Sankranti. Devotees marked the auspicious occasion with holy dip, offering prayers for a prosperous year ahead. DD India's Siddharth Bharadwaj explores the unique experience.
The first Amrit Snan, or the Holy Dip, of the Mahakumbh Mela 2025 drew millions of devotees to the holy confluence of the Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati rivers at Triveni Sangam. This sacred event on the occasion of Makar Sankranti marked a historic gathering in what is regarded as the world's largest religious congregation.
Today, when we had a bath in the Sangam, it wasn't just a bath in the Sangam here at Triveni Sangam. It was actually a bath in our true self. It was a bath in our divine self. It was a bath in Sanskriti. It was a bath in Dharma. It was a bath in divinity. It was a bath in awakening.
Makar means Capricorn. The movement of the sun into Makar Rashi, or the zodiac of Capricorn, is called Makar Sankranti. Makar Sankranti marks the beginning of the sun's northward journey. It is a celebration of the change of seasons from a harsher to a milder climate. On the auspicious occasion of Makar Sankranti, millions of devotees from across the country and the world take dip in the holy Triveni Sangam.
I came here already 12 years ago and I did a big experience. I was for 40 days here in the camp then I just want to re-experience that one because it was a very strong experience. Probably the best thing in my life.
I feel that Indian people and Hindus are very, very, very spiritual and very devotees to the Hinduism. And it was it was very intense to be with all the people, and I was saying the same mantras to the gods, and it was just amazing, really.
Devotees in Prayag Raj are busy with devotional singing, prayers, and other religious rituals.
It has been just an amazing spiritual experience, and just the organization and just the amount of work that they put into to make everyone so comfortable here at Paramarth camp has been wonderful. But apart from that, just the experience, just the mantra ghosh, the experience of crossing the Ganga, Rabiyeta Triveni Sangha. We've been 3 times already to have a dip there. It's just been mind-blowing.
Makar Sankranti marks the time when the sun slowly starts tilting towards the northern hemisphere, causing the days to get longer and the nights shorter.
Mahakumbh is not just a spiritual gathering. It is a journey of knowing oneself. When one comes here and takes a dip in the holy waters, it cleanses the person's not just mind and body, but also the soul. The festival will go on till February 26th. With camera person Rakesh Kumar, this is Siddharth Bharadwaj reporting for DD India in Prayag Raj.
Well, the government's cutting-edge Bhashani platform is providing multilingual accessibility to the devotees and pilgrims visiting Mahakumbh in Prayag Raj. The Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology's Bhashani platform is offering real-time translation and voice-enabled assistance in 11 languages. With the help of this platform, visitors can register their lost and found complaints in their native language. Bhashani's translation support is also available in Kumbh Sahayak chatbot to provide seamless, real-time information and navigation assistance. And for more, we have Siddharth Bharadwaj joining us from Prayag Raj. Well, Siddharth, millions of devotees gathered at the Triveni Sangam in Prayag Raj yesterday for the first Amrit Snan. Over 3.5 crore took Amrit Snan yesterday. Give us the overall of the scenario.
Very good morning to you, Lipakshi, and you're absolutely right. You know, such is the grandeur of this festival. This is Mahakumbh 2025. Around 3.5 crore devotees from all over the world, not just from the country, came here for the first Amrit Snan of Mahakumbh 2025 on Makar Sankranti, and they take a holy dip in the holy waters of Triveni Sangam, which is the confluence of river Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati. We had a word with some international pilgrims yesterday, as you viewers saw my report from yesterday, and you can see the amount of happiness on their faces. Some were saying that they also came here 12 years ago, and this is the best thing that they can ever seen. I mean, some international pilgrims also said that they believe in the power of Sanatan Dharma and the Hindu tradition, Hindu culture, and which is absolutely phenomenal. It's amazing. So, and which was absolutely visible yesterday as well, when people, 3.5 crore people, it's not a small gathering when such a large influx of pilgrims from all around the world come and take holy dip in the Triveni Sangam. Apart from the fact today, the enthusiasm is the same. You can see behind me, people are here. I am at a rail ghat, and people are here to take holy dip in this biting cold. Prayag Raj woke up to a foggy morning, and you can see behind me as well, there is fog everywhere. There's a chill in the air. People otherwise are shivering, but their devotion is not, their devotion is just incredible. It's impeccable. And they're here, they're taking the holy dip, and, they are reciting some shlokas, mantras, and all we could hear is Om Namo Narayan and Jai Shri Ram, and, many things. So basically the environment and the atmosphere here is truly incredible on this holy land of Prayag Raj. Also, Makar Sankranti is very, is considered very auspicious, in Hindu tradition. Because when Makar Sankranti, on Makar Sankranti, it is believed that the sun is transitioning from the southern hemisphere to northern hemisphere, which means that in the coming days we'll see some longer days and shorter nights, which was not happening as of now, because we were only witnessing some shorter days and longer nights. So the scenario would be changed. The arrival of summers is there. So yes, and whenever there is sun here in Prayag Raj,
there is smiles on the faces of people. Otherwise also they are smiling. But you know, when sun is out, the sun is shining on your face, you have a different smile for obvious reasons. So yeah, the atmosphere is truly incredible. Lipakshi, 450 to 500 million people are expected to gather in this mega event, which has commenced from 13th of January and would go on till 26th of February, Lipakshi.
Yes. Siddharth, also the government's cutting-edge Bhashani platform is providing a multilingual accessibility to the devotees. Tell us more about that.
Well, definitely. I mean, you know, Lipakshi, the government is leaving no stone unturned to make sure that everything goes in a smooth line manner, be it Bhashani for everyone, or be it the arrangements that have been put in place for people, for the devotees and pilgrims who are coming here. You see, there have been elaborate arrangements for all the devotees, being Ren Bisera, which is a place for them to stay, or be it the cleanliness drive. The government is leaving no stone unturned. In fact, the security arrangements are also quite elaborate. You can see behind me, if I request my camera person to actually pan the camera and show you that there are security personnel they are sitting to make sure that you know, the devotees and pilgrims who are taking dip in the holy river do not face any problem, and if there is an emergency situation, they are there to provide a quick response. And you can see the smiles on the faces of the pilgrims. You know, we had a word with some of the pilgrims, Lipakshi, and they said that since the time the digitalization has you know, come in and also incorporated in Mahakumbh 2025, they have experiencing, you know, immense ease of coming here. You just have to scan the QR code and everything is in front of you. You scan the QR code and you get to know where to stay. You scan the QR code, you get to know the places to eat. So yeah, definitely. You know, in fact, the urinals are being taken care through QR code. You just have to scan through an ICT app and you just have to say yes and no. If they are not in good condition, then immediately a team will come and definitely rectify any problem which is persisting. So all in all, you know, because the tagline also of this Mahakumbh 2025 is Divya Bhavya, digital, divine, grand and digital. So yeah, people are really happy, and when we had a word with them, they said that they have never experienced something like this. It's a very large congregation, and maintaining this itself is a big challenge, but the government is leaving no stone unturned to make sure that this peaceful, religious, largest gathering on earth remains peaceful, safe and secure, Lipakshi.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Siddharth, for all those details. And moving on, India is celebrating the 77th Army Day today. President Draupadi Murmu, the Supreme Commander of the Indian Armed Forces, extended warm felicitations to Indian Army on the occasion of 77th Army Day. The Army Day is observed on January 15th every year to commemorate the day in 1949 when Field Marshal K.M. Cariappa took command of the Indian Army from General F.R.R. Butcher, the last British Commander-in-Chief. K.M. Cariappa became the first Indian Commander-in-Chief of independent India. While the annual Army Day parade was held in the national capital, this long-standing practice witnessed a major shift in January 2023 when it was held in Bengaluru, which comes under the Southern Command. The Army Day parade this year is being held in Western India's Pune. And passes for the full dress rehearsal of the Republic Day Parade 2025 are now available through the Amantran portal and mobile app. These passes provide access to the practice sessions that take place prior to the grand Republic Day celebrations, offering a unique opportunity to witness the meticulous preparation of the parade. And on to some business news now. American multinational company Amazon will invest more than $5 billion in a data center in central Mexico as a move to expanding its infrastructure in Latin America, aiming to boost its cloud services and data processing capabilities in the region. This investment is expected to generate significant economic benefits for the region, including the creation of thousands of jobs during the construction and operational phases of the data center.
We are here with you, hand in hand, to launch our data center operations in Mexico of $5 billion. This investment is much more than the construction of state-of-the-art data centers. It represents a decisive and sustained commitment to the socio-economic growth and digital future of this great country and all Mexicans.
Con un nodo digital en las Américas y un
Well, you're watching DD India News. Our time now for some sports news. India will face Ireland in the third and final Women's One-Day International in Rajkot on Wednesday, aiming to complete a series sweep after 2 dominant victories. In the first ODI, Pratika Rawal and Tejal Hasapnis led India to a 6-wicket win. The second ODI saw India scored a massive 370-run total, with Jemima Roderick smashing a century. Deepti Sharma led the bowling attack to restrict Ireland to 54, with captain Smriti Mandhana leading from the front. India will look to maintain their winning momentum and finish the series on a high. Well, Indian men's team outclassed Brazil 64-34 in a dominant display of skill and strategy to move closer to the knockout stage of the Coco World Cup on Tuesday. Brazil started well in their attack, getting 16 points to their name, but India came back strong. India earned 2 points during a dream run that kept the Brazilians on their toes. Turn 2 was very impressive for the men in blue as they upped the ante while attacking the Brazilians. Brazil piled the pressure on India in turn 3, scoring an impressive 34 points to set up an exciting final 7 minutes of the match that kept the spectators on the edge of their seats, saw India proving their mettle and bouncing back in turn 4. And in women's Coco, India thrashed South Korea 175-18 to win their opening match on Tuesday. Indian captain Priyanka Ingle won the toss and opted to defend. The decision paid off as her teammates registered 2 dream runs, while South Korea could only manage 10 points. India remained in total control of match with an 84-point lead at the end of the second turn. They secured 1 more dream run in the third turn. India attained the 100-point mark in the fourth turn and went on to cross the 170-run mark, clinching a comprehensive win. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.